Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Gear Up on Modern Warfare 3. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the M249 SAW Paratrooper. So this thing here is badass. Now it looks really cool and it also handles very well in game. Well, without the optic on that we're using. But if you want to keep it real, we have to use this optic. Now, this is a replica from Avengers Infinity War. This firearm was used by Bucky Barnes during the Wakanda War. This is one of the most iconic guns that Bucky Barnes uses. I know he uses the M4A1 in, I think, Winter Soldier. He uses the CZ Scorpion. But this one here is the most iconic one that he uses. Now, in Civil War, he also had some sort of an M249. I'm not too sure if this was the exact one. I think it was. But we didn't really see it in action very much until Infinity War. So that's what we're taking it from. So let's go ahead and look around it like this here before we get into the build. Now, some real life info about this thing. This is a squad automatic weapon. As I mentioned, it is named SAW for a reason. This was used, or maybe it's still used, by the US military. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure they're still using the same LMG, and it's extremely effective. Now, the funny thing about Avengers is that they're using the magazine-fed variant of this LMG. And in real life, the magazine-fed variant is the worst thing, or the worst variant of the LMG. It jams like crazy, and no one uses it. Everyone uses the belt-fed variant because it's way more reliable. The magazine one just, it failed. It fails to feed. It just fails in general. It's a terrible way to use the LMG, but it looks cool. And when we're talking about the Avengers universe, we can pretend that, I would say, we could pretend that in Wakanda, the technology is so advanced that they fixed the LMG's problems with the magazine. I guess we could say that, or we could say it's using some sort of a Stark Tech magwell. I don't know. We could say all kinds of things about it. But obviously in the movies, he's using it without a single issue. So it's definitely improved with some sort of Stark Tech or Wakanda Tech. But yeah. Let's dive right into it. Very simple build today. Now, when it comes to effectiveness, would I say that this is the most effective attachments that you could put on the gun? Definitely not. But it is still pretty damn good. And aside from the optic is the only thing that kind of brings this rifle down, or brings this LMG down. But again, this is a replica video. If you guys want to change the optics but keep the rest of the attachments, that is perfectly fine. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's go clockwise here as always, starting with the muzzle. There's no muzzle on this one, so actually we're starting from the barrel. So we're going to be using the MWIII 18-inch para. This one's going to be an obvious one because we need that shorter barrel, and we need that, I guess, heat shroud, or not heat shroud, what do they call it? Like I forgot what they call that, honestly. It's like the heat cover on the top. So we're going to be using that. Optic wise, we're using the hybrid Firepoint. This is basically just a hammer scope in real life. So it's pretty badass though. I don't think it's called a hammer scope actually. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, no, I believe it is called the hammer hybrid or something like that. We're going to be using this one. For the stock, we're using the Tour 56 stock. Now, in the movie, I believe Bucky Barnes is actually using a very similar stock to this, but I believe it's rotated the other way, if I'm not mistaken. And even if I am mistaken, one thing's for sure, his is collapsed, and this one is not. So this one's going to be extended. If we used anything else other than this, it would have to be the no stock. But again, no stock doesn't look good at all. And in the movie, he's still running a stock. It's just collapsed, and the one that he's using is the Tour 56. So yeah, definitely equip that one, and on top of that, it still gives you some of those movement speeds and whatnot, so definitely use this one instead of the no stock option. Moving on to the rear grip here. The rear grip is basically just a placeholder, I want to say, or it's just like an attachment used, that it's not actually used in the movie. It's just something I put on so you guys could have a better feeling with the LMG. So this here gives you recoil control and gun kick control, which is extremely helpful for the optic that we're using today. And finally, the magazine, the obvious one here, the 60 round Stanag magazine. So this one is definitely the one to use. And that's basically it for the attachments. So moving on to the actual camo here. Now, I'd say you don't really necessarily need camo, but this is what it looks like without the camo. And in the movie, it looks to be a solid black, but here it's not. So I definitely recommend running charcoal. As a little bit of a, I guess, side piece to it, just to make it look more American, make it look more like it's from Avengers or Captain America. You could be running the emblematic emblem here or sticker on the firearm. It looks pretty good. I really like it with this thing on. It's just a little subtle touch, but I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's go ahead and head into firing range. I'll show you guys what the weapon is like, and I'll let you guys listen to the inspection. Okay, it's time to do our usual recoil tests here, but before we do that, we actually have to reset the targets because we did hit them a bunch of times. Let's go ahead and reset them. Oh man, my accuracy with this thing is just incredibly bad. Hold on. Let's switch to the LMG for this. I don't know, that pistol's kind of weird. But anyways, so let's do our usual recoil test here. We're going to mount right here, and headshots first, 10 to 50 meters. 3 shots to the head at 10, 3 shots at 25, and 3 shots at 50 meters. So let's go ahead and do chest shots. 3 shots at 10, 3 shots at 25, and 4 shots at 50. So pretty effective rifle actually, or sorry, LMG. I keep calling it a rifle. Let's go ahead and do a little recoil test here just to show you guys that the optic isn't the best. So I do recommend changing the optic if you're not going for that replica, but if you are, definitely stay with it. I mean, it's not that bad, but you guys will see. It's mainly just visual recoil, right? I mean, if you keep the gun steady and control it and just keep shooting in that same direction, it will kill and it will hit. It's just that the visual recoil is insane. But if we switch to the red dot, I want to see if this is any better, actually. Yeah, the red dot is definitely a lot better when it comes to visual recoil. But again, I think it's the same shit, to be honest. But yeah, very effective, and it's definitely going to be fun to use in Modern Warfare's multiplayer. I don't know about Warzone yet because the game isn't released, but I might give this a shot depending on how it goes. Yeah, amazing support weapon, just like in real life. Now, if you put the actual belt fed on it, which I'm gonna make a separate video on, it's a lot cooler for that like support action. But this definitely gets the job done, and with the faster ADS speed and whatnot, I feel like the magazine is more ideal for Modern Warfare. But of course, in real life, it's definitely not. But anyways, that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to stay tuned for more Gear Up videos. On top of that, some other videos and live streams that are coming up. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Definitely check out the description below if you guys are looking for any Modern Warfare 3 copies for console and for any Quest 3 Amazon accessories and whatnot. So it's all going to be down there. Make sure to check it out if you feel like doing so, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, ladies and gents, and once again, hope you enjoyed.